Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. Today we're going to do a Halloween card. I'm going to participate in Jamie's Get Creeping on Halloween challenge. I have so many Halloween cards because I keep forgetting to give them out at Halloween time. It's ridiculous. I don't need any more, but I'm still going to do it because it's fun to do and I have a fun technique to show you guys today. Now, I did start this card, I think back in January or even like late, well, it won't be late last year because I don't do them for November, December usually. I'll do them up until Halloween and then it's Christmas full on after that. But anyway, so I have an artist I used to follow over on DeviantArt. I don't know if anybody uses those still. It seems to still be up. I just checked it out. He still has an account and everything. But his handle was JeffToon1 and his art was like pretty amazing. He did all of these like twisted princesses where they originally had a backstory that he had created for them. I don't see it in the description anymore, which is unfortunate because it was pretty interesting how he came up with these concepts. But anyway, something happened to Cinderella and she turned into a scarecrow. And now she's all like creepy and stuff. So I want to make this into a card today. And I, again, started it a while ago. So I have the background done and I'll just walk through that in real time. So I ink blended a panel with some oxide inks in, I believe it was Fossilized Amber, Spice Marmalade, and Candy Apple Red. Splattered it with some water for some texture. Added a bed of black soot around the edges and then left it at that. For the castle, I used this Once Upon a Time stamp set and heat embossed it with clear embossing on black, just so that it like left the image of the castle there without me having to color it. It adds a nice like silhouette in the background. I've like fussy cut out all these little turrets and everything. But yeah, so that will be the background for my card. And then we're going to take the Cinderella stamp and change her. So that was going to be the basis of today's video. Anyway, I've done this before. Where I stamp an image with a really light color and then kind of alter it a bit. So that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna make her into this, basically, but different. Obviously, it's not gonna be the same. This one, it's a little bit of, like, it's not as much skin showing, so we won't be able to put stitching on arms and stuff, but I can make her eyes into buttons. We can add the stitching details and whatever. So I'll do what I can. Make her dress look a little tattered. I'm going to have to use my brother's scan and cut for this regardless if I had the dies or not because we're going to be changing it. I'm also going to add little squiggly hairs and everything. So I will move over to voiceover and go through that process. And you guys can watch me alter a stamp and do some coloring. Hey guys, voiceover Liz here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by stamping the princess character in the light gray ink, but I'm going to do a second generation stamp because I don't want it to be too dark. The first time around I did it just straight up stamping and the flannel is a bit darker than I would like. I should get another gray ink that I could use specifically for this. It's a bit lighter. I think I used to have Whisper ink from Gina K specifically for this, but the ink pad dried out and I had like stamp it like a bunch of times, so I kind of got rid of it. Then I was using jellyfish ink from Lawn Fawn in the little cubes, but I gave those to a friend of mine because she got into like stamping with journaling and stuff. So I gave her my Lawn Fawn inks and I have my assignment inks. So I will probably try to look for another light gray ink for doing these types of techniques because it is fun to do. It is just another way to kind of stretch your stamps as long as you're comfortable with doing this. You can always practice too. You don't have to get it right the first time. Again, this one's been stamped probably 3 times at this point because my one marker decided to just like spill itself all over the place. I love the Olo markers, but at the same time storing them horizontal the way they recommend, it's just like there's just so much ink in the barrels that it just kind of like seeps out sometimes into the tips, and then when you put it to paper it just kind of blobs out, which is annoying. So I had that with the brown one that I used for like the burlap sack look on her skin, and it did on this one as well. It just kind of exploded in like her like chest area there. I kind of left it and just colored over it. It wasn't too big of a bleed the first time around. It was a bigger one. So I think storing these upright would actually be better, but you would have to store them upright as individual markers, not connected. Because then the bottom one's just going to have the ink flow right to the tip and be full all the time. So I think maybe going forward, once I eventually switch fully over to the Olos, I will store them upright, and then when I'm about to do a project, I'll lay them down for a few minutes just to get the ink to kind of like seep into the nib. I think that's the best way to do it. For now, I have a stand where all my markers lay sideways, and I have various different brands, so I will leave that there until they're gone. These things last me forever. I've had some of these markers since college, and I graduated in 2010. So they're good. As long as you don't like use them a lot and you keep the caps on, they'll like last pretty much forever, I think. But sometimes they dry out as well. Maybe if there's like a little hole somewhere in the barrel, or I don't know. But they do last a long time, especially colors that you don't use as often. So like the really old ones that I have are mostly like yellows, pinks, and purples, which again are colors I don't use a ton. But anyway, back to the image. So I've used darker felt tip markers in order to outline the image. You don't have to do this if you don't have them. They do have them at the dollar store. I did buy a ton of them on Temu as well, which is why I have so many colors. But you get like 12 or 24 packs at the dollar store. They work fine, and they work well with your alcohol markers. They won't bleed or anything. Or you can just use a black one and just create your own black outlines like you would if you were stamping the image, which would also work. I kind of wanted it to do a tonal outline because of the hair and stuff. I wanted the little like straw bits to look like they were sticking out. My Scan and cut it really well. Actually, I ended up going to like an orange for the outline of her hair. Originally I used like a darker yellow, but I changed it to an orange just to give it a little bit more contrast and a little bit more depth, because I know in the dress like I had a darker blue than what I used and it looked nice. So I ended up doing that. I think it's really cute. I really like how she turned out. I'm very happy. It's very much what I envisioned for this card a while ago when I started it. And then I was looking through my stash of stamps, and I have all my Halloween products in one area. So I found a stamp set that came with the 13 Days of Craftoween set from Spellbinders. And it just had these like a couple of like pumpkin and like spooky sentiments, and then I picked this one, Have a Hauntingly Good Time, because it's kind of like, you know, you're gonna have a good time at the ball, but it's Scarecrow Cinderella, so she's headed to the ball anyway, regardless of how she looks. This is not in the aftermath in my story. But yeah, so I just added that like tiny little sentiment there. I'm gonna prop her up on some foam tape in the bottom left corner. And then I'm going to use my Jelly Roll sparkle pen and just kind of add some like atmospheric dots around the castle mostly. And then I add a couple to like her dress just to give it a little bit of sparkle, a little bit of something extra. I was originally going to maybe add either some like clear sequins or little clear bubbles or something, but I didn't want to do too much to this. I'm not sure who I'm going to give this to. I have an idea, but I'm again not sure. So if I did decide to like donate it, I try not to donate ones that have like embellishments and stuff on them, just in case. I mean, I probably wouldn't donate this one to sick kids just because it's a little creepy. But like somebody might love it at the same time. So I don't know. We'll just leave it. We'll keep the cutesy ones for sick kids when I donate. And for the image itself, I was going to keep the white originally. And then I'm like, I think I want her to kind of blend into the background a bit. So I did the black from the where it stopped down in the dress area. And I was going to leave the top white just because like her hair's almost the same color as the background. So I wouldn't want to color it more yellow outside. It might make it look like it was a mistake or something. But then I decided just to go black all the way around, and I like this decision, guys. I think it looks really good, like a reverse sticker, but it's like instead of a white border, it's a black border. It's kind of fun. I liked it. And it just kind of brought that black up a little bit further, and it just didn't leave any white on the card, which is why I made that decision, because there was no other white to kind of like bring in. Like, I like to have different areas of white. If I was going to leave the like a border on this and like cut the panel a bit smaller, then I maybe would have left the white, because then there would have been more white on the card, but there wasn't, so I decided to do black, if that makes sense. But anyway, that's our card for today, guys. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. Have you tried altering your stamps before in this way? If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe, because I'd love to have you here, and make sure you follow me over on Instagram and Facebook for additional content. And until next time, thanks guys, bye.